welcome or welcome back. Today my plan is to pick out a new book. I have been struggling with what I want to read next. I have like 3 books I think left on my September TBR, but I don't know what I'm feeling like reading right now. I'm kind of in one of those moods where it's like nothing's really pulling me one way or another, so I thought it might be fun to let the TBR jar choose because then it's random, obviously. And I actually made some new prompts, so there are a bunch of prompts in here that require me to, like, I have a little bit of freedom, you know what I mean, like with what I choose for that prompt, but I also put, or tried to put, every book that I have on my shelves that I haven't read on a little piece of paper in here as well. So I could get a specific book or I could get a prompt. So let's choose our first book together. I don't know how many books I'll read in this vlog. Maybe like 3. I guess we'll find out, but it really just depends how long the books are. The first book we'll be reading in this video is usually I show you guys first, but then it always ends up being upside down, so I'm gonna look first. Ooh. Are you ready? We got Dance of Thieves. This is a YA fantasy that I have been putting off for so long. Let me actually go grab it. Please hold. Okay, here she is. This has been on my shelves for so long, like probably over a year, so I'm actually really happy that this got chosen, because sometimes a thing about me is if I'm not, I don't want to say forced to read a book, but if I'm not doing something like this, where I'm choosing a prompt and then reading that book because of it, like certain books on my TBR will literally stay there forever. So I'm really happy we got this one. I don't know anything about this. A stunning new adventure set in the kingdoms of the Remnant, a formidable outlaw family that claims to be the first among nations. A son destined to lead, thrust suddenly into power. Okay, so it's very like vague, and I kind of like when the synopsis is like that so it doesn't give away all the major plot points. Okay, there's a dark secret, an outlaw leader, a legendary street thief. Wow, again, I have heard nothing but good things about this duology, I feel like. So it is, what is today, Monday at like 3:30. I've got a crock pot meal going that will be ready around 5. So the only other thing I need to do tonight probably is eat and wash the dishes and maybe go for a walk. I think that's it. So hopefully we'll be able to get a good chunk of this read, and I'll let you know when I have some thoughts. Okay, bringing you closer because I have some thoughts. So I've made notes, okay? I'm already very confused by this. I don't know if it's the writing style or because it's in third person. I don't know. Third person doesn't usually bother me, but right now I'm struggling. For one, like I said, it's kind of confusing. There's lots of people and places and things, which is fine, but when it's all thrown at you right in the beginning with no explanation, my brain doesn't know what to do with that information. So there's that, and then also I feel like there's a lot of like telling rather than showing, kind of like info dumpy in like when you're in the characters, different characters' point of views, and obviously you're in their, well, it's third person, so you're not really in their mind, but when it's in their point of view, it just is very info dumpy, like, oh, this happened and this happened, and I'm not like a huge fan of that. I kind of would rather just have like little bits and pieces shown through the world and the current character interactions rather than going back in the past and being like, there was this war and this happened, you know, I don't know. That's just maybe a me thing. And then also just the way, so we're following our main character Kazi, and then this is multiple point of view. So there's Kazi, and then we also follow Jace Bellinger. And I don't know, the way Kazi talks, or maybe it's just the way the author writes, is very like I don't know, she's very confident, which is good, but almost in an immature way. And again, this is YA, so maybe that's why, but I wrote, yeah, it's kind of like a kid playing dress up, I guess. Like, she's just saying things like, I was ready to twist the little weasel into a braided loaf, but it was too soon for that. I had bigger game to hunt. And I'm like, I don't know. You're talking some big stuff over here. That's kind of like annoying me. And then I just, as I'm reading, found another instance of this. So it says, "Move along, boy," I ordered. "This doesn't concern you." His eyes went from bloodshot to flaming. Boy? He stepped closer, and in one swift movement, I brought him to his knees and slammed him up against the apothecary wall, a knife to his throat. Don't get me wrong. Love a good, strong female main character, but like, I don't know what it is. Like, she's annoying me. I'm hoping that this, gets better and gets less confusing and doesn't annoy me. Like, maybe I'll get into it. We will see. I'm only 46 pages in, so I'm gonna get back to reading for now, and we'll let you know if I have any more thoughts. I just wanted to show you guys the mess that I make when I am taking bookstagram photos. I got the sheet all propped up, blankets, props, prop books. Good morning. It is now a couple days later. It is Wednesday at about 7 a.m. and I've got my coffee, I've got my ambiance lit up, and I'm ready to read. I'm still reading Dance of Thieves. Yeah, so I'm still reading this. I'm about yay far in, which is chapter 26, page 230. And since the last time I spoke to you, I think, depending on what I said, I'm really enjoying this a lot more. I like the dynamic between the two characters. It's definitely like an enemies to lovers, but I wouldn't say that it's slow burn by any means. It's more of like a enemies to lovers to enemies to, that back and forth kind of thing. It's also kind of set in like an old-timey, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, in my head, for some reason, I'm picturing like Old West town, even though I don't think that's how it's described for some reason. Like, in my head, that's what it looks like. But it's definitely more like older times, older language being used. It's been interesting. It was rough at first, and then about 80 or so pages in, I started to enjoy it. The main characters go on like some sort of trek, basically, and that and training sequences are like some of my favorite plot points in fantasy, so that has been fun. And I wouldn't say that this reads like super YA. It's more like probably at the top of the age group, if that makes sense. Like, it's not super immature or anything like that. I mean, at first the language kind of was immature, but as I read it more and more, it doesn't feel that way anymore. So yeah, I'm having a good time. My plan today is pretty much just to read. I mean, I got all my work done ahead of time last night. It's a gloomy, rainy, chilly day, so it's perfect. This is my reading outfit. My favorite sweatshirt from Aerie. My favorite pajama pants. These are my Christmas pajama pants, but hey. And then my new ghosty slippers. So yeah, that is the plan, like I said. And I'll let you know if and when I have updates. I thought about doing a 24-hour readathon during this week too, but then I was like, that'll get confusing because I'm recording this video, and then what would I read for that? Would I just read and talk about the same book for both? So I'm not going to do that, but I am probably going to try to read as much as I can today, and we'll see how much that ends up being. I think I read 124 pages between this and the audiobook that I'm listening to. I'm listening to Billy Summers, and that's also going well. I don't really have any updates there either. Just that Stephen King has really good writing, and whether you're reading it or listening to it, it's definitely engaging. So that's it for now. So I have not gotten as much reading done as I wanted to today because last night my father-in-law dropped off a bin of my stuff that's been in storage at his house in Florida for like 6 years. Like ever since Tyler and I, my husband, got married, we've had like all of our apartment stuff there, and I also had like this box of books, so I had him bring this up because he drove, and yeah, I kind of want to go through what books are in here with you guys. It might be kind of fun. Some of them I probably won't be keeping, and some of them I will. But yeah, so the first one we have here is The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz? I don't know if I'm saying that right. But this was really good back in the day. I think this is nonfiction, yes. And it's a really short and sweet book, and there are things that I still remember to this day from this book, like be impeccable with your word, which is something I say a lot. So yeah, I still remember this one. This one is great. I don't really read nonfiction anymore, but yeah, do with that what you will. And then I also have The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. I don't know if I'm butchering these names, hopefully not, but another really good one that I read a long time ago. I even have a little note sheet of quotes apparently that I put in here. So that's fun. So these two I probably will keep because it's kind of fun to say that I read those. And then I have a couple Rupi Kaur poetry books. I have Milk and Honey, and then I have The Sun and Her Flowers. Loved these back in the day. Again, I'll probably keep these because, you know, they were part of an era for me. I have Eat, Pray, Love by Elizabeth Gilbert, which I do remember really highly enjoying this. Yeah, I think she travels to 3 different places in this one, like India, is it Italy, Bali, and maybe India? I don't remember. But again, this is one that I remember impacting me when I read it, and I feel like everyone and their grandma has read this book. So again, I'll probably keep this just as a memento to that time period of my life. It's really fun to kind of think back at what I was reading back in the day. I also found a bunch of my old journals in here, and I literally lost an hour to an hour and a half today because I was reading through these old journals. It's now 11:35. I think the last time I spoke to you, it was like 8 a.m. I think I read for like an hour, and then I started laundry and started listening to Billy Summers on audiobook again, and I've probably, listened to a decent amount of that today, but actual sitting down and reading, haven't done much of it other than reading my old journals. So if this vlog takes a long ass time, that is why. But anyway, other books I have in here, I have Crazy Rich Asians, another book / series that I remember absolutely loving at the time when I read them. I don't know if I'll keep these or not. They're not like anything I think I'll reread. I don't know. I might ask one of my friends if she's interested. Otherwise, these might be getting donated. And then I think this one's a thriller, Something in the Water. If you can see that, by Catherine Steadman. Don't remember this at all. I don't know what it is about thrillers, but I feel like they do not really stick with me, usually. So this one, again, I will be donating, or I'll see if friends or family is interested in them. And then, the entire reason that I wanted this bin was because my original Twilight books are in here. Once again, though, like half of the set is paperback and half is hardcover, which seems to be the problem with a lot of my series, but I'm just really happy to have these back in my possession. Don't ask me why I smelled it. I have to smell all books. I'm obsessed. I might have to do eventually a reread of these, although they're so long. I mean, the words are kind of big and the margins are kind of big, so I'm sure they'll fly by, but I'd love to reread these. I don't know when. Those are definitely I'm keeping. And then we have New Moon, also in paperback. These are honestly in pretty good condition for being, like, I've owned these since I was a teenager. What else? Eclipse. Books with dust jackets I feel like don't hold up quite as well, but this one again is okay. I even put my name on the inside of the dust jacket. That is how much I loved this series. And then my beloved copy of Breaking Dawn. She's a big boy. I just remember reading these back in the day and absolutely loving them and just disappearing into the world of Twilight. And now I want to watch the Twilight movies. I'm in that fall mood, you know? So yeah, that's pretty much why I wanted this bin. Oh, what are these? Oh, I've had these stickers. Like, these are like the kind of stickers that you get in these like little coin machine things. I've had these since I was a child. Like, I literally, I don't know why I just keep holding on to these. I thought, maybe it's because I thought they were cute. Like, this one's kind of anime looking. I have no idea, but I'll probably put those in my sticker collection. These are a relic of my past. So I'll keep those as well. And then I just have some cookbooks. This one was given to me by my sister-in-law when I got married. It'll be really fun to kind of go back through all of these things and see what we have in here, because I have not seen any of this in like 6 years. And then I also have Taste of Home cookbook, which I remember really liking this one. Yeah, I like how this one's like separated into, like, it has tabs. It's really easy to find what you're looking for. That one's a kind of like a basic cookbook. And then this one is a baking cookbook. King Arthur's Flour Baker's Companion. This one I don't think I've really gotten to even look at much. I don't do a lot of baking or anything. And usually when I'm baking or cooking, I just get my recipes from Pinterest, so. But yeah, these are my little cookbooks. I think that's everything. But yeah, I thought it'd be kind of fun to show you guys what was in this bin. These are gonna be, once I have room, make room, get another shelf or something, the Twilight books will for sure be on my shelf. But yeah, here's to hoping that I go and actually get some reading done today. Okay, hello. It is now Thursday. I can't remember the last time I talked to you guys, but I have officially finished Dance of Thieves. I finished it this morning, and it was, how many pages was this? It was like 508 pages or 505 pages, something like that. But yeah, in the end, I enjoyed this. I would say that it was confusing at first, and I've been told that there is a like trilogy that you're supposed to read before this. I don't know if you have to, but it had been suggested to me by a few people when I mentioned that it was kind of confusing, so keep that in mind. But once I did pick up on what was happening, probably about, like I said, 60 to 80 or so pages in, then we were rocking right along, and I couldn't put it down for a while. Like, basically in the entire middle portion of the book, I was wanting to see what happens next. There's a lot of betrayal, you know, a lot of back and forth between our main characters. Jace and Kazi are very much in that position of being like enemies to lovers to enemies, because, and again, I'm probably not gonna be able to explain this very well because I was quite confused. Even there were some parts at the end where I was like, wait, I need to reread this. So Kazi is she's a guard basically for the queen of another kingdom, and then traveling to where Jace basically lives and rules, but he's not, they don't really view him, or they don't give him an actual official like title. They don't recognize his land as a kingdom basically, and Jace is the new Patrei, and I don't know if I'm saying that right, it's Patrei. He's the new Patrei, or like the ruling monarch, the leader of this clan, this family, which is near Hell's Mouth, which is completely far away. It's, you know, leagues away from the kingdom that Kazi is traveling from, and they're looking for a traitor within Jace's territory. And so that's kind of the whole premise behind this story, is that she is in search of this one bad guy, and she comes across Jace, and some chaos ensues, some things happen, they grow closer, and then, you know, there's betrayal, and they have some back and forth, like I said. And the ending, I did like how it ended, although it definitely leaves some like plot holes open. You get, you know, a little bit of an idea of where the next book is gonna go, and I think I'll probably eventually try to finish out this duology, but as of right this moment, I feel good with stopping here for now. And because I want to read, you know, the next book for this video, I feel like sometimes when I read a sequel in a video, it's like not as fun because I really can't say anything about it. So yeah, I mean, it was a good time. The romance was cute. They do, I would say, get together pretty like quickly at first. But like I saw what the author was doing here with the romance plot, so it kind of made sense. But yeah, let me make sure that I'm not forgetting anything because I always do. I think my only criticism of this was that in the beginning it was confusing, although again, that could be on me for not reading the other trilogy first. I think the first book in that trilogy is called A Kiss of Deception. That was the only thing that would really hinder my rating of this. I think right now in my mind, it's always so hard to rate things. I think right now it's sitting at like a 4. I think when I first started and was kind of struggling with it, I probably would have said like a 3 or maybe a 3.5. But because it did pick up for me and I enjoyed probably the last like, you know, 3/4 of this book, I would say that definitely bumps it up to a 4 in my mind. So yeah, that's where we're going to leave off with this one. I've officially finished. I guess let's go get the TBR jar and choose the next book that I'm going to be reading in this video. I thought about giving you guys an update on, I'm listening to the audiobook of Billy Summers, but then I'm like, well, this video is supposed to be for, you know, TBR jar chooses, which the TBR jar didn't choose that one, so we're gonna leave it for a moment, but I am enjoying that if anyone wants to know. And yeah, I'll be back. Okay, we're back to sitting on the floor once again. I've got the TBR jar. And by the way, I don't know if I've shown you this shirt in any of my vlogs, but it looks like this. It says Fireheart to whatever end. Obviously this is from Throne of Glass. And I think the shop that I got this from is called Second Breakfast. I will try to put the name here on the screen, but I'm obsessed with the shirt. I'm obsessed with Throne of Glass, as we know. And yeah, I just had to show that off real quick. But okay, so like I said, I could get another specific book like last time, or I could get a prompt. I don't know what I would rather get. Part of me doesn't want to have to make decisions. Part of me wants like a specific book to come out of this. We'll see. Okay, drum roll please. Okay, we have it. The fates have spoken. I'm not looking. Actually, no, I'm gonna look. I'm gonna look for you guys. Oh, we got a specific book, and guess what it is? The X-Vows. And this is one of my newer purchases, so this is actually really exciting. I've heard amazing things about this book. You know what? Let me just go get it. Let's go get it. Wait. Okay. I actually think it's really fun that I put specific book names in my TBR jar, because like I said, that is gonna like force me to read things. I feel like that, not that I want to be forced to read things that I don't feel like reading, things that I wouldn't be typically looking at. Like Dance of Thieves was not on my radar, which it should have been because it's been on my TBR forever, but now I've read it, I can check that box off. I enjoyed it, so it's like, you know, it's a good thing. X-Vows by Jessica Joyce. I love this cover and this spine. This one next to You with the View is gonna look so cute. And I really enjoyed You with the View as well. I can't remember exactly what I rated it, but I think it was somewhere in the 4-star range. So yeah, I'm really excited about this. I don't really know much about it other than I think the two main characters, they're exes. So Georgia Woodward lives by her lists, none more so than the one about her ex, Eli Mora. Ooh, I love a good to-do list. So it sounds like they're gonna go help their best friends, their mutual best friend, Adam, his wedding. Everything goes wrong. Things start going wrong, it's chaos, and they kind of have to work together to get this wedding back on track, right? And so obviously I can foresee that there's going to be a little bit of forced proximity and tension and second chance. I think I do really like second chance, just because it kind of lends itself to more tension being between the characters. Whenever you have characters who have, you know, a history, there's going to be some type of tension, some unrequited feelings still in there. So yeah, I am excited for this. Let's get reading. I'll let you know when I have some updates. I have a bit of a headache today, so I don't know how much reading I'm gonna get done, unfortunately, which, you know, isn't great since today's the perfect day for me to read. I've done all my work, like I have the rest of the day to read, so we'll see. I'm gonna try to maybe eat lunch, maybe relax and watch some Gilmore Girls, hope that this headache goes away, and then get started on this. But I will let you know when I've got some thoughts. Back in the same spot for another reading update. Last night, which I know I did not show at all, whoops, I read a decent amount of The X-Files. I got almost like halfway through. I think I read 212 pages in one sitting because I literally could not put this down. There's just something about second chance romance that just hits. Like, the tension between these two characters, because they already know each other and have so much history, is amazing. Like, the little glances, the little barely there touches, them remembering things from the past. I was eating it up. So needless to say, this is going amazing, and it's definitely living up to the hype. Like, I have heard so many people say amazing things about this book, and it's living up to that hype for me. The writing style is also just like really funny and witty, and I've related to so many things in this book already. So for example, like the main character Georgia, she's definitely a people pleaser, has like a bit of, I would say, probably anxiety, if it doesn't outright say that. But yeah, she's definitely a people pleaser and puts everyone else's needs ahead of her. And just wants to be as useful as possible to people, and I mean, relatable, honestly. Also, there was this quote that I have to read to you because it's so good. Sometimes I swear adulthood is staring at your phone and wondering which of your friends has enough time to deal with your latest emotional meltdown, then realizing none of them do. If that is not literally the thought going through my head when I'm having some type of mental breakdown and need to talk to somebody, I'm always like, I don't want to burden people. That's relatable. That is so relatable. And there's been a lot of quotes like that I could have written down, but like I was so engrossed in this book that I didn't even want to pick up my phone and, you know, make a note of it. This book so far is totally engrossing. I can't wait to get back into it. We're about at the, like I said, a little bit past the halfway point, and some spicy fun stuff has happened, which I love. I feel like I was only like, I don't know, 10-20% in, and she mentioned something about like needing praise from people. And I literally wrote down, do I sense a praise kink coming? And 100%. If you're into that, that's this book for sure. It's now, what is today? Friday at like 11 a.m. I have been working pretty much all morning trying to get my stuff done because I have dinner at my grandparents' house later. I went for a walk. It's a beautiful day out, and I think my plan, I'm going to call one of my friends because we might be going shopping tomorrow. So I'm going to call her, nail down some plans, and then I'm probably either later today or tonight going to try to get a decent chunk more of this book done, if not finish it. Because, like I said, once I pick this up, I foresee myself not wanting to put it down. So that is the update. Book 2 of this TBR jar chooses my reads for the week is going swimmingly. Guys, this book literally hurts. I'm not done yet. I'm on page 352 out of like 360 something, and now I literally have to stop reading. I have like 15 pages left. I have to stop reading and go to a dinner. So I've just been crying because, for one, my stomach and heart have been like clenched and hurting throughout this, but now for like good reasons. And it's just, I think this book is a 5 stars, guys. I see it now. I see why everyone loves it so much. I will have to come back another time with more and deeper thoughts, but that's it for now. That's why I've been crying. Hey guys, I am finally back with my final thoughts on the X-Files. I finished this 2 days ago now because it's now Sunday morning at like almost 10 a.m. and I needed some time to sit on my thoughts, but also I didn't get any reading done yesterday because I was out and about. But yeah, I think I'm going to definitely give this one a 5 stars. Basically the entire plot of this book is like ridiculous, silly, everything's going wrong with wedding preparation kind of vibes, and some of the things that start going wrong, it's like, okay, this is just getting a little bit ridiculous now, but it's still so fun. And I didn't care because the underlying messages and the things that these characters are going through and working through are very deep and real and made me feel a lot of things. So that's kind of why this gets a 5 stars for me. I was feeling all the emotions. I cried. I think I got my reaction a few times, but I cried multiple times. This was literally one of those books that makes your heart like hurt, like physically hurt. That feeling where your like throat is like really tight because you're trying not to cry. Yeah, that was me, especially towards the end of this book. And there was also just a lot of really, just really good moments between these characters. Obviously there's a lot of tension because, like I said, it's second chance. It's kind of more of a slow-ish burn towards the end, well, till you get to the point where the characters are having their reconciling moments. And yeah, this was such a good time. I love Eli Mora. I now understand what everyone's talking about with the paper rings. Like, everyone who talks about this book is like, paper rings, and I'm like, huh? I'm like, okay, I guess that's kind of cute, but like I didn't see the significance of the paper rings. But now I know. Now I get it. And yeah, I love that aspect of this book. I love Eli Mora so much. The only thing that was like getting so frustrating for me was, and I guess this is the point, Georgia, the main character, she refuses to talk about anything, and that's kind of like their whole issue in their relationship and why they broke up in the first place, right? Is that both of them kind of just didn't talk through things, and she is hanging on to that with Bill. She's just like gripping on to that idea of like wanting to ignore anything wrong that's going on in her life and her relationships, and like that's relatable. I get it, girl, but it's very frustrating to read, and towards the end I just wanted to scream at her, like, stop bottling everything up, ask for help, talk about your feelings. Like, that's clearly one of the main messages. And I don't know, I think because this book made me feel so many things, it made me laugh, made me cry, made me frustrated, made my heart literally hurt, that's why it's a 5-star book, right? Because anytime a book can pull every emotion out of me, I'm like, that is a 5-star book, because wow. And I had such a great time, and I flew through it. Like, all of the checkpoints that I need for a 5-star book were there. So yeah, needless to say, this is one of the best romances I've read this year. Highly, highly recommend. Such a great time, such a deep, unexpectedly deep love story. And yeah, basically my heart was just hurting. Like, towards the end, like I said, there's these flashbacks of like why they broke up and how that all came about, and throughout that all, and just the ending in general, my heart was just hurting. And then I was revived, and just, yeah, wow. 5-star experience. Part of me wants to end this video now, even though I've only read 2 books, and part of me wants to pick another one, because I always like to have, I feel like, at least 3 books to talk about in a video, but I'm not sure what I want to do, so I'm gonna probably do a little outro right now, and then if I do end up, well, but I do want to pick my next book from the jar again. you know what, I'm gonna come back to this and we're gonna pick a book out of the jar just in case, and I may or may not start reading it in this video. I may or may not finish it in this video, no idea yet, because it's Sunday. Usually I get a video up by today, and I would love to get it up, get it edited, get it up within the next couple days, but then again, I'm also like, Courtney, who cares? Just make it the video that you want it to be, and it doesn't matter. The timeline doesn't matter. If I haven't posted in 7 days, it's fine. So yeah, I will be back when I have my TBR jar. Okay, here we are. TBR jar. Let's see what we're gonna get, and this honestly will decide whether or not I'm continuing this video, because if it's a super long book or it's one that I just don't feel like reading, we're just gonna end it, okay? All right, what is it? What do we have? Is it a prompt? Is it a specific book? Oh, I dropped it. This one actually is Hubby Chooses out of 3 books, but he is actually out of state working to help with the storm that just hit. So I am not going to ask him right now, because who knows when he'll be able to respond to me, and we're gonna save that one for another time. Take 2. Moment of truth. Do we continue the video or do we end it here? Your friend chooses from you. Guys, I really want to be able to pick a book literally right now. Who would answer right away? I'm gonna send a picture of my TBR shelf to a friend and then we'll come back. Okay, so for the prompt of your friend chooses for you, I actually messaged one of my Bookstagram friends, and her name is Bailey Condi. I will put her handle here, so definitely check her out. But yeah, so I messaged her, hey, so the video I'm doing right now is a TBR prompt chooses my reads, and then I told her the current prompt, and I said, if I send a picture of my TBR cart, will you choose one? She said yes, absolutely. And so I sent her a picture, and oh, she's seen it right now. So let's see what her answer is. Please hold. Okay guys, we have a response, and I already accidentally peeked on it because, you know, like, you can pull down the notifications, and that is one of my things that I always do and I need to stop doing. But anyway, guess what she picked? She said, I'm gonna go with Starling House. Oh my god, I've been wanting to read this for this season for so long. Also, not to mention, it is so gloomy and like rainy out lately that I feel like that is the perfect book for right now. So I'm gonna go get that. Okay, here we have it. Also, my camera's about to die, so hopefully that doesn't happen, but we're going to be reading Starling House by Alex E. Harrow, my special edition of it, which is stunning. Obviously, I'm gonna take the dust jacket off. But yeah, this is, I really don't know anything other than this is kind of about like I don't know if it's a haunted house or just like a sentient house. That's kind of what I've heard, but I think it's gonna give good dark kind of gothic vibes. I'm gonna try to see what this is about. It does say haunted houses. Ooh, brooding men, love that. A house full of secrets. It feels strange, dangerous. Okay, this sounds absolutely perfect. I'm not gonna read the entire synopsis because obviously I'll be talking about this once I start reading, but let's go read, and I'm gonna charge my camera. Talk to you later. Now do not know when the last time was that I updated this vlog. We are not finished with this yet. I'm about halfway through, but I am loving this. At first I wasn't sure. I was like, yeah, it's definitely giving spooky vibes, but like But I was like, I'm not sure if I'm in the mood for that right now, so I only read the first day like 17 pages, so I think the last time I showed myself reading, that was the night that I read like 17 pages. I was just busy watching Gilmore Girls all the way through. I'm like in season 3 somewhere now. I'm loving this. Also, how stunning is this naked hardback, and then with like the clear case over it. Absolutely captures the vibe of this book. But yeah, it's very atmospheric. Like I said, it's like got spooky tones to it. Obviously, it's kind of about like a haunted sentient house. There's these like this mystery that the main character and others in the town are trying to figure out. This town is basically, the town of Eden, Kentucky is thought to be cursed, and there's generations of these starlings, these people who come and take care of the starling house, right? They are the wardens of the house. They're there to kind of protect it. And her life, well, not all her life, but for part of her life, the main character Opal has had dreams about this house, and she feels this like longing towards it, kind of like a belonging. And of course, she ends up going to the house, even when the current warden Arthur is telling her to run away, literally. And wow, I'm just like surprised, not surprised at where this book is going, but I guess it's a little bit different from what I expected. It's definitely still got like creepy vibes. I love the author's voice and tone in this. Like I said, kind of spooky and creepy, but also like really funny. The FMC Opal is very like witty and sarcastic and gritty. Like, she grew up poor, her mother died, she's kind of living in a hotel taking care of her brother Jasper, and trying to get a better future for him. And yeah, I don't know, I just love her. She's kind of like, I don't know if this is the correct word, but she's kind of like a vagabond, right? She's very cunning and clever, and she's a thief, and out of necessity, but also just to try to kind of get ahead in life. And this town that is cursed, keep in mind, very much gives like desolate, small town, kind of just like almost depressing vibes. I'm also loving the relationship that is developing between Arthur and Opal. It's very kind of like fraught with tension, but also unexpected tenderness. Like, when you first meet him, he's definitely very, I don't know if I'd say grumpy, but definitely he screams vibes of like stay away, and clearly that is, you know, his kind of facade, his kind of mask that he puts on, because deep down, and I feel that this is true with both of the main characters, deep down they both care, right? And both of them are desperately trying not to show their emotions. They're trying to seem very tough and hard, and like, I don't know, I love that in a main character, when it's like on the outside they're like, no, I'm tough, I can handle anything, blah blah blah, I'm not going to show my emotions, keep it all bottled in. But then those emotions start to play out, they start to come out, and that's kind of the point where we're at right now. We're somewhere in the middle. Actually, what page am I on? 162 out of, I think it's like 303 pages, and yeah, some things are starting to go down. There is some blackmail happening, there is some little crumbs of, you know, possible romance, and I'm just very happily surprised with this book. I'm really enjoying it. I plan to hopefully finish it today, but we shall see. That's the plan. I really need to get this vlog kind of wrapped up and edited. Oh, before I finish, I think I did mention that this book is also kind of about a like sentient / haunted house. I wouldn't quite say it's haunted anymore, definitely more like sentient, but man, I love any kind of storyline with a sentient house. Like, you know, the movie, what's that movie called? Kids movie, it's animated and it's about a haunted house. Is it called Haunted House? No, I don't know, but if you know what I'm talking about, leave it below in the comments. It's about a sentient house, and I love that like it will groan and creak in disappointment when the characters do certain things, or it will send a warm breeze when it's approving. It just loves, you can tell it wants attention, and it loves being pampered. And honestly, that's relatable and hilarious, and any book I've ever read that has some kind of sentient house, I'm here for it. So yeah, those are basically the main elements that I'm loving. Sentient house, the tone that the author uses, and then the characters themselves and the relationship that's building there. So good. So I can't wait to see, you know, how the rest of this goes. I'll probably update you once I've finished it since I'm halfway through. But I just wanted to put it out there that, yeah, it's a good time. So that is it for now. I'm gonna go try to finish and hopefully finish this vlog today. Please, dear Lord, let me finish this vlog today. Okay, it is now later, same day, it's like 4 p.m. and I have finished Starling House. So before I give you my final thoughts on this, which I don't think I have many more than what I already mentioned, I wanted to do a little recap so we can finally end this reading vlog, which I feel like I've been doing for forever now. So we started with Dance of Thieves as picked by the prompt jar, and I gave this 4 stars. Looking back, that still stands for me. It was a fun time. After I got through like the first, 80 or so pages, I understood what was going on, and the journey of it was fun, the romance was fun, and I do think I will continue this duology. The second book is called Vow of Thieves, and I've heard that that one's even better, so I do plan to eventually read that one. I just don't know when. This is like a 4-star. Yeah, I wouldn't say that it's like a favorite of mine, but it was fun, and I look back on it fondly. So that was that one. And then the X Vows, again, as picked by the TBR jar. This one was so freaking good, and I do think this will stick with me for a while. I gave this 5 stars. Eli Mora is everything. Even though it was kind of like silly goofy with the plot and everything going wrong, almost too much going wrong to be conceivable, it was very unexpectedly deep and made me cry. And that, I feel like with romance, doesn't happen that often. So yeah, props to Jessica Joyce for creating an absolute masterpiece of a romance. Highly recommend reading this. And then the very last book of this video, as we know, was Starling House, which I literally just finished like 5 seconds ago. I think the most notable things for me in this were how atmospheric it was. I definitely felt kind of spooked out, creeped out, like I'm walking in a dream world. Kind of like when you think about Stranger Things, how there was the upside down world. Think of it kind of like that. In this book, there is an underland, and they're trying to figure out kind of the mystery behind the Starling House and all of the wardens who have died trying to protect this house, and what happened with the woman who built this house, Eleanor. And basically it's just this big mystery, this curse on the town of Eden, Kentucky. Amongst all of this, you have an unlikely pair who kind of gets together to solve this mystery, and it's a really good book. It's a really fun time. I think right now I want to rate it a 4 stars, a roundabouts. If that changes, obviously it'll be different on the screen, but yeah, I think this was a really good time. Again, no 5-star feeling, but still highly enjoyable and perfect for this time of year. And also, like I said, the sentient house aspect of it was like so fun, even like heartwarming a little bit. I don't know, there's just always something about a sentient house that has good intentions that gets me. So what a great time. We read 3 books off of my TBR, and actually 3 books that I probably wouldn't have read right away if not picked by the TBR jar. So I definitely want to continue doing videos like these to help me tackle my TBR. Like I said, I have specific prompts in there now too. Well, actual specific book titles as well as prompts. So yeah, the experiment of doing it this way, I think worked really well, and I want to continue doing this. I'm going to finally end this here. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all those YouTube things so you don't miss anything new from me. I don't know how many videos I will be doing this upcoming month as it's a busy one, but I will see you next time. Bye!